Good morning. It is Saturday, April 27th. And on today's episode, we talk about...
we talk about Saturday morning cartoons, elementary puppet shows. We talk about how Brooklyn looks like Sesame Street, Lumberjack Nap-Time, bearded fanny packs, bacon recipes, swim lesson, breakdancing nightmares, and getting booed off stage at the Apollo. Welcome to the Whoa Show.
It's Saturday. It's Saturday, Taylor.
Don't you love Saturday?
What does it feel like when we get to Saturday? It feels like we've accomplished something. You know, it's like we've made it. We've made it.
Even when we were kids, it was like that. I remember being a kid and like you work at school all week long, and then Saturday, like for us back in the 80s and early 90s, we had Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes. What cartoons did you watch?
Thundercats.
I actually had a cat named Panthro.
Did you really?
And another cat named Snarf.
Oh, Snarf from the Smurfs?
No, Snarf was on Thundercats.
I loved Saturday morning cartoons, and I would watch all day long. I mean, I would even watch like the Jetsons and Garfield and Friends. Remember that?
Oh man, here's what I remember. I remember Alvin and the Chipmunks on Saturday mornings.
Yep.
This is like so crazy. The Adventures of Ed Grimley. Do you remember that?
With Martin Short?
Martin Short, dude.
Yeah.
And my favorite, dude, it wasn't a cartoon, but my favorite, and if people hate, they hate, I don't care, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I loved it.
I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Today's word of the day is bacon.
Do you remember the magic word for what was his name? It was the genie.
Magic word changed?
No, he always said the same word. And I want to say it's Micka-licka-hi, Micka-hiney-ho.
Oh yeah, Micka-licka-hi, Micka-hiney-ho.
Yeah. And it almost sounds like you could say it wrong. It sounds really weird, but it's Micka-licka-hi, Micka-hiney-ho.
Yeah. Say it with me, everybody. Micka-licka-hi, Micka-hiney-ho.
Exactly.
I remember that during the week, the only cartoon, well, it wasn't even a cartoon, but like the kid show that was on in the afternoons on PBS was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I loved it.
Yep, Mr. Rogers. Always a big fan of Mr. Rogers. You know what I loved about Mr. Rogers was, I actually did puppets back when I was in high school. I did puppets.
Wait, hold on. You had hold on.
It was with our church. Our church, we had like a puppet team, and we would go do shows for people. Why are you laughing? Did
you travel with like a small wall? Because you have to hide to have a puppet.
Oh, dude, we had like a whole we had like a whole stage and everything, man.
Was it made out of PVC pipe?
It was made out of PVC pipe.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, what was the name of the puppet team?
Hold on. It was something really dorky. What was it? There's going to be somebody from this puppet team that's watching this episode, and they're going to be like, what was it? I don't remember.
Was this like other teams like in sports or dance? Like, were there competitions? Were there like, do you see other puppet teams and talk trash and be like, you guys, I can totally see your lips moving. Like,
yes, there were puppet competitions.
No.
I promise you. Yeah. Actually, I got out. Say like I got out of prison. I got out of the.
You did your time.
I got out of the puppet team before they did competitions, and thank goodness, man. Because I mean, like they worked hard. Hard. But man, it is not easy. Like holding your hand up like this, and like doing this. I was really good.
The award for longest arm raise goes to Little Keith Coast from Lawton, Oklahoma.
Funny.
People were encouraging, you can do it, Keith. And the award for the greatest arm raise in puppet history goes to Little Keith Coast from Lawton, Oklahoma. Yeah. You had like encouraging friends like, you can do it, Keith. I know this is a 3-minute song, but you can lip sing it with a puppet on your hand.
That was the thing. The guys in the puppet team, we got like the longer parts, because there were some parts. Because, dude, I mean, just try doing this with like like 2 or 3 pounds on your hand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you do
That's a heavy
this.
puppet.
Yeah, man. Some of them were like two-handed, like you had a hand and stuff like that. Man, speaking of shows and stuff, Sesame Street. I was a huge fan of Sesame Street.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
I grew up watching Sesame Street, and you don't think about all the little details. Are you okay? Where'd you go? Oh, gosh.
Remember that?
Sunny day. Everything's
okay.
I love it when we try to sing together, and because of the distance and the lag of the internet, like in post, it sounds like we don't know what we're doing.
I know. We should probably never sing together unless we're in the same room.
Right. I remember one of my first times I ever visited Brooklyn. I remember I woke up out on the street, and I literally look around, and I thought I was on Sesame Street. I was like, this is where they filmed. I think Big Bird lives right over there. But man, yeah, Saturday morning cartoons, dude. Gosh, we have already covered so much ground. Saturday morning cartoons, afternoon shows, and puppets, dude.
That's right. One of the things I love about Saturday is there's certain things you can do in the afternoon to make it feel like a Saturday any day. Like a Tuesday could feel like a Saturday if you know a cool move. Like one thing we did, we got a hammock as a family.
Ooh.
It's like a freestanding hammock. It wasn't that expensive. It's like this little frame, and you hang the hammock from it. And we put it in the front yard, and now we hang out in the front yard all the time. Like everyone loves the hammock.
Are you talking about the hammock that's in your yard right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I've been on that hammock. I love that.
You've taken naps on my hammock.
I have. And with this beard and me taking naps on your hammock, sometimes people call the police. They're like, there's a man taking a nap on your hammock.
He looks like a lumberjack. An out-of-work lumberjack.
After this nap, I'm going to take down this tree holding up this hammock.
After a long day of making my own syrup, I like to nap on people's yards.
I was actually just in Seattle this last weekend, and I wore a flannel shirt, and I was just like, man, I belong here. I could get a job on a fishing boat.
Oh yeah.
Or as a lumberjack, and either one of those, I would be totally okay.
Yeah, when Keith he has a hat. You have a hat that's like a floppy hat. You know what I'm you had a hat that was like a floppy hat, like a Gilligan kind of hat at one point. And whenever you wore it, you looked like the guy from the Gordon's fish stick box.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you look like the Gordon's fish stick guy. I've also seen a move you do in the cold where you have like a hood and you cinch it up so just your beard is shoving out of the hood. That's a good look.
There's a lot of fun with a beard. The only thing that I have found lately the only thing the beard really prevents me from enjoying that I used to enjoy are bow ties.
Oh, I was going to say ribs.
No, these are great. You can still taste them later. It's like,
Yeah, your bow tie would be eclipsed by your beard.
It does. Like, see, like right here.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be right up here. And it's like, there's no.
It'd be a good place to hide like a candy bar if you didn't want anyone to take it, though.
If everybody's be like, why aren't you wearing a bow tie? And I'd be like, peekaboo.
Right? You should make, you know what we should make? We're getting ready to go to Europe. And a lot of times when people travel, like you don't want to take a chance of your passport falling out of your pocket or whatever. So they make this like fanny pack that you kind of tuck inside your jeans. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a little belt with a pocket. And you tuck it inside your jeans, and so nobody knows it's there. Do you have one right there? What? Are you kidding me?
Actually, so this one, it's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same.
That is hilarious.
But this one, like you can tuck it in your waist.
Yeah.
But this has the neck thing.
Oh yeah, and then
this
you
is
can
like a wire.
Right.
Like so it's
you
like
can't cut it. You can't.
This makes you look so much like a tourist right here.
Right. Do you know where Buckingham Palace is? I want to see if I can make a fart noise and make that guy move his face.
Doesn't work, man. Tried it. Been there, done that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. We should have everyone leave in the comments. When I go to Buckingham Palace, what should I do to the royal guard to make them crack?
Hang on, I'm seeing.
But I don't want to go to prison.
Here's my airline ticket from.
Where's that from?
Ooh, Guatemala City. I guess that was the last trip I took. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I think we should make one of those that clips behind your ears and it hides like a little pocket behind your beard. No one would ever look there.
The beard pocket. Beard pocket.
Yum. Oh, wait. It's the Red Robin and the Hot Pocket song.
I have actually, I think, was it one of the very first episodes that we recorded? It was before we were doing the video. I think we did a couple test sessions. I think the very first podcast, and I have a lapel mic, and I didn't have, so I just clipped it to my beard right here.
You totally did. Yeah.
And honestly, I could probably still do it here, and you would never see it. It's just like,
no, it just blends in.
Yeah.
I for years wanted to do a game called What's in Keith's Beard, and we just slowly zoom, like slow epic music, dun 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 dun, dun and a gate like this. Until finally we zoomed in, and there's like a small village of people in there.
There is a small village of people in here. I take care of them.
Right?
They just got a rainstorm. It was a shower, but for them it was a rainstorm.
You know, this is something that kids don't have the opportunity. You know, you can't grow a full beard when you're in like the 3rd grade. I remember being a kid and thinking someday I'm going to have a beard, and I've never done it. Maybe I should give it a go.
I think you should, dude.
You think so?
I think, honestly, you know what? If we do it, here's what we should do. We should totally, and I don't even want to suggest this. You grow a beard and I shave mine off. That would be epic. But I don't want to shave it anymore. I don't like, it's not that I'm afraid.
When was the last time you took it completely off?
I think I probably shaved it off about 5 or 6 years ago. And just kind of on a whim, you know, I used to have a goatee with some sideburns, and I just shaved it off and didn't even tell my family. Didn't even say anything. I just started walking around, and they're like, "What happened to you?" It's so weird, you know?
Yeah, if you guys look behind Keith, there's a banner, a self-serving banner to promote his book, The Bacon Book. It's a very nice banner, but that's an actual photo of Keith without a beard. That's not a plate of bacon.
That is me.
That's what Keith looks like with no beard.
Okay, so I'm not trying to promote The Bacon Book, all right? I'm not.
Available at keithcoast.com or thebaconbook.com.
And I'm not going to try to promote that it's available on iTunes. I'm not going to do that. But it just so happened that I got this made, and I thought it was kind of cool.
It's really cool.
I had it set up, and I just literally hadn't had time to take it down. So it won't be up in every episode.
Now, right. Keith, what I want to know is, has there been any backlash yet from people who are vegetarians on the fact that your first children's book is about bacon?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean,
well, bacon's kind of in as a keto thing too, right? I mean,
I mean, you know, some people don't like bacon. Some people do. You know, but I have not gotten any kind of flack, I guess, if that's what you're asking.
I think everyone likes bacon. I think some people just have never had bacon.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I love pork bacon, of course, because that's like generally what it is. You know, turkey bacon, in the song, I give it a hard time. Not a huge fan.
No,
not a huge fan.
It doesn't taste like bacon at all.
Well, because here's my theory. I don't know exactly how turkey bacon is made, but I pretty much think they kind of like grind it all up and kind of like make a mixture out of it, and then they stamp it out because
it all looks the same.
It all looks the same.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Spam.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I mean, turkey bacon, if there ain't nothing else to eat, I might eat it. You know,
we made bacon once. It was so delicious. We cooked it and we laid it out on a baking sheet, and then we put it in the oven on the broiler. But we put maple syrup over it, and then we sprinkled rosemary on it.
Ooh.
And it got really crispy, and it's like a candied bacon with like rosemary. It was so good.
I've had that in restaurants before.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I got to say, there might be one bacon that I prefer so far. Every time I've had it, I think it's better than pork bacon. And that is beef bacon.
Beef bacon. Have I had beef? I think I had beef bacon with you in Texas.
Yeah. I think
we went to that place.
Yes.
They grill it outside. Like where were we at? Austin?
I don't
What was that?
remember.
It was good. It was really good.
I
I know that.
remember when we were in Austin. It was both of our families.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the road, and that dude yelled that thing out the window.
Yes.
This dude, guys, listen, we're walking, our families. It's a beautiful day in the park. And some dude, he rolls by, and do you remember what he said?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say it.
He said, "Get a real job." That's what he said. Were you thinking of something else?
No, I was thinking of the other guy who yelled at you and I once. But yes, no, I remember this "get a real job." And it wasn't like we were working.
Right. So apparently a lot of people yell things at me and Taylor when we're walking.
Right. Well, and apparently people know that neither of us have real jobs. We're like, how did he know we don't have real jobs?
How do you know that we don't have real jobs, sir?
Yeah.
How do you know? We're not out hustling. We're not out in the park passing out bacon bookmarks. All right. We're not out here trying to hustle. They're free. Okay. And you can check out all this cool information. Look, no, I have you seen these yet? I just got them done.
These are great.
These are what I'm passing out like at shows and stuff this year.
Oh, that would fit great in the bacon book.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like a 32-page book.
I know, so you can't finish it.
But it's got my picture and
bacon is really great. I'm gonna meditate on that a little while. I'll come back to it next day. Bacon on my plate. Sweet. Think about that for a little bit.
Exactly. I just like this is like a baby bookmark, and that's like Godzilla bacon and baby bacon. That's what I'm calling it.
I love that. Dude, it's Saturday. We're supposed to have a question for Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
What is our Saturday question, Keith?
Is there some time in your life that
yes,
yes, every day.
Sorry, I have lots of time.
That you either weren't adventurous, or maybe you were too scared to be adventurous, or maybe maybe something you were too scared to do and didn't take a risk, or maybe it was something that you were really afraid of, but you went ahead and did it anyways. So
I got a story for both.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So my time that I chickened out was when I was in the 4th grade and I went to my first summer camp. And I met these guys that were really cool. And like in this would have been late 80s. This is probably like 89, something like that. And these guys were break dancers.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they had had their whole b-boy style and like big baggy pants, and they like stole pants from their dad, and like they were gonna do for the talent show. Like I became friends with them over summer camp, and I started dressing like them. Like I would borrow pants from these other guys, cinch them up with a belt. We're walking around and hanging out with all the breakers. And then they were doing a talent show, and they invited me to perform with them. And I chickened out. I couldn't do it. I was so scared, and I wish I had.
So let me get this. Let me set this up in my mind. So there's a huge piece of cardboard.
Definitely, yeah, like a refrigerator box.
Piece of cardboard. Kids, if you don't know what breakdancing is, look it up.
So good.
There's actually a Mr. Rogers episode on breakdancing. Have you ever seen
remember that one? I do, yeah.
And big piece of cardboard,
like,
and then there's a boom. And then there's a boom box over there playing hip hop music, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which back then, was it even hip hop back then? I think it was just rap.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't call it hip hop yet. Yeah.
I don't think they did.
It was, but it was awesome. And
they were like doing all their flips, and then they're like, Taylor. And
yeah. And I was like,
popping and locking.
Lots of this. Yeah, but I chickened out, and I wish I hadn't.
You busted out into like a linking ring routine.
I was like, guys, you want to see a card trick? Look at these tiny bunnies made out of foam.
Oh man, I see those break dancers, and it just like, it's amazing the head spins that they do.
Here's the thing, and this, no one's gonna believe this, but when I was a kid, my dad would take me down to like 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and I would break dance with all these break dancers when I was a little kid. So I knew some moves. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. I was just so scared of what other people were gonna think about me that I chickened out, and I missed out on like this killer talent show. That would have been so fun. I mean, it's no puppet talent show, Keith, but
I think we should totally put together a breakdance puppet routine and go
that'd
down
be
to
great.
Santa Cruz.
Marionettes just flying around.
Oh my gosh.
But then the time that I did something that I'm really glad that I did, I was older. I was like just out of high school, and we went to Australia, and my buddy's like, we're going to go do an activity. And I'm like, okay. Whenever someone says we're going to do an activity and they don't tell you what it is, you should ask some questions.
Right.
And I've always been very terrified of heights, which is funny because I fly for a living. But he said, we're going to climb the Sydney Harbor Bridge, which is 440
that's tall, dude.
feet above the water. So I was so scared, and they like make you put on this suit like you wear when you go skydiving, because they're convinced you're going to fall. And then like they teach you how you're going to climb. You're climbing up these ladders, and it's like not very professional what's going on, but I did it, and I was so glad I did. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
How about you, man? When was there a time that you...
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Like a time.
Well, there was a time you were scared, but like did it anyway.
Yeah.
You had a time recently.
I did. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll talk about my childhood. This is what pops in my mind.
Right.
I took swim lessons when I was about 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember I had just learned to swim, like I'm going down under the water and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I remember looking at the high dive, and I remember like, that's not that high. I can do that. And I remember climbing up it, and then you get up top, and then you look down, and you're like, what am I thinking? And they're like, do it. And I'm like,
right.
And I crawl all the way back down, man. And then I look at it, I'm like, it's not that high. It's not that high. And then I climb back up at a second time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just can't do this, man.
Were your knees shaking?
Yeah. And I'm like, I went back down, and I'm like, and I'm like, maybe, I'll start off the low dive. So I did the low dive, but I can remember, man, I remember standing on that high dive, and I'm just like, dude, I can't do this. That is just.
It's funny. Neither one of my kids have that, whatever that is, that triggers that fear of activities like that. Like we'll go to camp, and they'll be like, hey, here's a zip line that this old guy put up. It's tied to a tractor on one end, and the other end is PVC pipe. And they're like, I'll climb 400 feet and do it. Without even thinking, they just go and do it. They're not scared at all.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
I've got a friend in Mississippi that their parents, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, built something called the Redneck Water Park. Now just number one, it's in Mississippi. All right. Built by rednecks, and it's called the Redneck Water Park.
Right. Other people call it the mosquito forest.
Or an insurance nightmare. This thing is like, it is so crazy. And they just dug a huge hole in the ground. They had plastic, like tarps or whatever.
Like a giant trash bag kind of material.
But no, thicker. I don't know where they got it from. They're very resourceful. And it goes down. I mean, it's deep, man.
Yeah.
And they built like a floating platform, but then they built this thing that it's like rusty metal. And it's like, you go out and then you swing off of it. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm like, I'll watch you all day long, but no.
Right. Yeah, maybe not a great idea.
Yeah, your girls would totally be like, yeah, let's do that.
No problem. Well, I do want to, I know we're running out of time, but I do want you to tell this story that if you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, because I was so proud of you recently, like as an adult, when there's like more stakes to win or lose, you went on a TV show recently.
I was going to say, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yep. Tell them the story.
Okay. So I got an email from this talent agency in Hollywood. From Fox Network. And at first I really kind of thought it was fake, to be honest with you. And that's why I sent it to you. And I'm like, Taylor, is this for real? But it was about me performing one of my signature routines of me getting inside the big balloon and doing it on a TV show called Showtime at the Apollo with Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was hosting the show. This was their first season, and they wanted me to do my big balloon routine on the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know that I really want to do that. And
right.
Taylor, look, like you and I, we've been doing this a long time, and you and I kind of know what happens behind the scenes of some of this stuff.
Right.
And, you know, there's other TV shows, and you and I have had conversations about good friends, especially of yours, that have like gone on these TV shows, and they're not really great experiences, you know. And
not always. Sometimes they're really great, and sometimes they're not so much.
Yeah. Sometimes they're really great, and then sometimes they're like, you know, I don't know. And I was just like, I don't know, man. They want to like take me on the stage, because what concerned me was part of the deal about this particular show, Showtime at the Apollo. If the crowd doesn't like your act, they boo you off stage.
Yeah, that's part of the game. Yeah.
And then this guy named the Sandman like escorts you off the stage.
Right.
And then you're done, you know, it's like whatever. And, you know I'm going up against some really talented people, singers and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm a middle-aged dude with a beard, chubby guy getting inside of a balloon. They're not going to like me. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But you were like, Keith, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You were like, you have to do this.
Right. Well, and you did it. And the thing is, you did get booed.
I did get booed. No, yeah, spoiler alert, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. I did get booed.
But you also had like a great experience and made a lot of new friends and like have a story to tell. Like that's pretty awesome, man.
Absolutely. And you know what? I did get booed off stage. And there's too much to tell here. I actually got what we call like not stage fright, but like
you froze. You got a little bit.
I froze. I guess we call it stage fright, whatever. I never had that happen before in my life. Everything went in slow motion and this and that. But anyways, I pulled it off. Everything went great. It's just, you know, people booed me and I had to go off stage. And yeah, you're right. I made a lot of friends. Matter of fact, one of my friends, he's a tribute artist, singer. He actually just performed for the President of the United States.
That's crazy.
For a big party. So like all these people I got to meet, man, they're doing all kinds of these crazy cool things, and I got to make new friends, right? And it was a great experience. And Taylor, I'm glad that you talked me into it, because I can look back and be like, I did it. You know what? And I may have got booed, but man, I performed on the Apollo stage.
You did, man. You did it. And you know what? As we wrap up this session today, I think, kids, one of the things that we would challenge you with is, you know, don't feel pressured to do things just because you think someone else wants you to do it. But really consider, like, when opportunities come up or things that might be fun that could be a little bit scary but are still okay to do, maybe you should give it a go. You might be glad that you did. And like Keith, maybe you'll have a different experience than you even thought.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? I like to say, Taylor, to who takes the risk takes the reward. And sometimes, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? We can make a good day out of a bad day. And, and it wasn't a bad day for me, you know, and I still won't go off the high dive at the pool. Okay. No. But I have no regrets about that in my life. Okay.
Right. And the good news is today is Saturday, which means we got a full day of adventure ahead of us. So you guys have a great time. We will see you back here Monday morning.
See you on Monday, guys.
Energy up, energy up.